Hello and welcome back. In the previous video we've set up requests to backend and we've added all the messages that occur between user and the bot to component state messages. In this video we'll create a new component for displaying text messages. Okay, let's create a message component that will be responsible for rendering text messages. Create a new file in the chatbot folder and call it message.js, like this. This component will not need any state, no method, it'll just be responsible for rendering text messages. Therefore, it'll be a functional component. Let's start by importing React. Import React from React. But this component will receive properties. What this component needs is to know who sent the message and what was the text. Let's create a function component that will receive props from parent component. Const message equal and props. Now the arrow function. And in here we'll add HTML. I'll use some Materialize CSS classes to style the bot. I want to display bot's avatar in the left side, if it was the bot that sent the message. And I want to display me avatar on the right side, if it was the user that sent the message. First, I'll add a div. I'll add a grid to it, so Materialize grid. So this is a Materialize grid. A grid has 12 columns, 12 calls. I'll add some offset so that we can have some space. Offset -m2. Offset -l3. Now let's add a panel inside. And every message will be displayed in a gray panel. So this div needs a class name, card-panel, gray, lighten -5, z-depth -1. Like this. Now we have a gray panel. Then I add a row. Div, class name, row, line-wrapper. Okay, now we have a panel for messages. In here we'll display all the messages from the bot and from the user. All messages go in here. And now we've said that we want to show bot avatar if the message was from the bot. My avatar will be pretty simple. I'll just add a Materialize button and write in it bot. Look at the link in the resources. So it'll be just a red button with the name of the speaker. You can design this bot in the way you want. You are not limited to my design. And this avatar will take up to 2 call spaces in the Materialize grid. So div, class name is call s2, like this. Now I'll add a button. I'll get it from Materialize page, here under Components and Buttons menu. I'll take this red button here, copy it. You can change this and create any other avatar. For demo, we'll add a button with the name of the speaker, so copy it to the code. I will now remove this icon tag, that is the E tag in here, and I'll write out the bot. But I'll read it from the props. To do that, I write curly braces, props, dot, speaks. Speaks will be the props we send to the message. And now something tricky. We've said that we're going to display this avatar, but only if the message was sent from the bot. The syntax to do this is a bit tricky, so watch closely. We need to add above this call to curly brace, props, dot, speaks, =, bot, and here is the tricky part. Now we add end and all the string we want to display. So the condition and then all the text we want to show. And then we end this condition. Yes, I know, this looks like a strange syntax. Basically what this does is evaluates the first part And if it is possible, then it displays the second part. Why does this work? Well, it's simple, because in JavaScript, if we have true an expression, this will always evaluate the expression. Therefore, props.speak is true, and the expression after this is returned and displayed. So true an expression returns an expression. If props.speak is true, then this code is returned. Remember, this is not HTML, this is actual JSX code, okay? The next thing I'll display is the message part. Let's create another div, give it a class name. This will again be call, and this one will take 10 calls. We have 12 calls available, 2 are for avatar and 10 for the text. Now add a span. I want black color text for the message. Therefore, I'll give the span class name black dash text, like this. And now the text, curly braces, props dot text, like this. And last, if the user that sent the message we want to display avatar on the right, we can copy this part and change the condition to speaks equals me, like this. And wow, I almost forgot, I need to export the message. Export default message. Woohoo! Message component is ready to be imported to chatbot. So go to chatbot component and import it. Import message from dot-message. Let's use it. We need to use it somewhere in the render function. What I'd prefer to do is move the rendering process to render messages method. So what I'll do is, here where messages should be rendered, call the method render messages and pass in all messages from the state. We'll implement the method shortly. Now call the method, curly braces, this, render messages, and pass in this dot state dot messages, like this. And now let's implement the method. I'll put it here just above the render method. Render messages, pass in state messages. Now I'll check if state messages exist. If state messages. Now I'll map all messages and return a message component for each message. Return state messages dot map. Now the callback function. So this will be an arrow function, message, and e, that is iterator number. And I'll now return the message component. Return message speaks message dot speaks text message dot msg dot text dot text. So we pass prop speaks to message component. Speaks here becomes the props.speak inside the message component. And we pass in the message speak. That is, this speak in the says object. State messages are a collection of these says messages. And to the message component we pass speaks, and now we'll pass text. If we look at the C here, we see text is here, message, text, and then another text. Therefore we pass this as text, message dot text dot text. And one more thing we need to pass in. Not any other property, but a key, a unique key for this component. The key prop has a special meaning in React. Keys help React identify which item has changed or added or is removed. Keys should be given to the element inside the array to give the elements a stable identity. It is not passed to the component as prop, but is used by React to aid with association. It's good that you have a key in the component, and you need one if you pass an array of elements. Our key will become the E from the map iterator. Key equals curly braces E, like this. Okay, and if there are no messages, then we'll just return a null. So else and return a null, like this. You're asking me what will happen when the new messages will be added to state messages. Won't the messages be rendered only the first time component is rendered, that is mounted? Well, React works like this. Each time state changes, the changes are reflected in the render content. Therefore, when we add a message to state messages, content is re-rendered and all the messages appear, including the new one. I just love these new age libraries and frameworks. I come from the dark ages of web development where you had to code every little thing from evaluation, from form evaluation to everything. Now all of this is done for us. Okay? What now? Well, if we want to have any messages, we need to send a text query or an event query. Let's do them both in the next video. We've done good in this video. You've created a new function component that renders the text message, and you've implemented the render messages in chatbot component that will be responsible for rendering messages. Let's make text and event queries in the next video. We'll welcome user on the page, that will be the event query, and we'll enable input text to collect user's input and send it to Dialogflow. See you in the next video. Bye bye.